Hi, everybody. This is Coach Lynn Kanuka, SportMedBC's RunWalk coach for the Sun Run in Training program. If you're tuning in for this next half an hour, I'm so excited for you because you are either already a returning participant, perhaps, in this wonderful Vancouver Sun Run in Training program, or you've heard about it. You've got friends, family, people you've heard of that have been part of this program and have perhaps been involved in one of the 50-plus clinics that are hosted around the province at various community centers, and you've thought to yourself, well, it's January, it's after Christmas, it is time to become active, and I just want to know a little bit more about this program. So that's what this next half hour is all about. What is the SportMedBC Sun Run in Training program all about? Which program is right for me? And as a coach, I've been here at the helm for some 22 years since the beginning of this program. I can tell you it is near and dear to my heart, and you've come to the right place. In this next half hour, I'll be able to pass along some information so that you'll understand where you need to be in terms of your own health, your own fitness level, and you'll understand that, oh my gosh, this is something that by and large, all ages, shapes, and sizes can participate in. Oh, hang on. Many of us have been doing the wrong kind of workouts this last little while. And you know what? I'll tell you, I will share with you that running is seriously in my DNA, and I went for a run this morning, and I've been doing a little bit too much of the wrong kind of exercise myself. That would be normal, and I decided, you know, it's a reminder that, holy cow, I need to get out there and take to the streets a little bit more and take it easy because my fitness level is not what I want it to be and what it's been in the past. So I had to slow down and be careful not to do too much, too fast, too soon, which is truly what most people tend to do with any exercise program. So that's me, and I'm privileged to guide and support you in this journey should you decide to take part in the Sun Run in Training program. It's so close to my heart in that my own coach back in the day when I was actually that Olympic athlete that you see in the far left corner there, I won a bronze medal for Canada back in 1984 in the Los Angeles Olympics. And my coach was Thelma Wright together with Dr. Doug Clement, who was a co-founder of SportMedBC, for which I'm so proud to wear that hat. And it was his vision that people need to prepare for 10 kilometers. What a thought. Why can't we just jump in there and walk or run 10K, 6.2 miles? Well, you know, if you're young enough, the body will allow you to do that, but it won't be something that becomes a lifestyle, something that you enjoy for fun, fitness, and health. And you can't possibly feel as efficient and strong as you would be if you actually prepared for it. So that's what the Sun Run in Training program is all about. I'd be remiss if I didn't say how important it is to support the sponsors who have been committed to this incredible event for the last many, many years. Today, as we've got it laid out for us now, it's so wonderful. The Vancouver Sun newspaper itself has been at the helm as a title sponsor now for many, many years. The event itself is 33 years old. Ford has stepped up to the plate as a presenting sponsor. And as SportMedBC's RunWalk coach, I'm so proud to be connected to the Sun Run stores that you see on the right-hand side of your screen there, who together with footwear partners will be providing all the support we need, that you need, to get you on your feet in a healthy way with proper shoes and technical gear and advice. And of course, the in-training program itself wouldn't be in existence without that kind of support. So thank you to those sponsors. And because of them, for 22 years, we've had the Sun Run in Training program. And for 33 years, this foot race has, you know, some 40,000, and at one time or another, there have been as many as 50,000 plus people lined up on Georgia as you see right there at that starting line. And what a spectacle, and such energy. That's what I'm going to say. You don't need that many people to head out to go for a run or walk, but I'll tell you, it's important to set a goal when you're thinking of embarking on an exercise journey, and it's important to experience the excitement around that. And this event itself, oh my gosh, it's something you just can't imagine until you're actually there. So what is it about this running and walking thing? I mean, we've been doing it since the beginning, and since the beginning of time, since kids never really walk, do they? They run. They take those first steps and then off they go. And there's a joy in what that is, that movement. Just picture a child running across the field or across the playground. You know, that's what we, even as adults, need to experience. And we can't unless we prepare progressively and carefully and comfortably. And then there is a joy associated, because you don't feel the pain in your ankles or your calves or your back, which as a runner myself, you know, it's awful to me when I hear people say, "Run, Lynn, how can you enjoy it? It's too hard. It just, you know, it's too hard on the body and I don't like it." And the reason is because we've just done too much too soon. So I love that phrase, 1,000 miles begins with a single step, because it does. And when you see these photos, as you're watching now, I know that you look at that and you think, oh, that does look peaceful. That does look like something I'd like to do. And that's why you're listening now, because you're thinking, I want to be able to do this, and how can I do it in a way that's right for me? So, too much, too fast, too soon. That is the essence of SportMedBC's Sun Run and Training program. Okay, the cornerstone of our program is the leadership. And as RunWalk coach, I in fact provide the training for the wonderful 500 plus volunteer leaders that are around the province and part of every clinic that takes place at all of the community centers. We have 1 leader per 5 participants. That ratio couldn't be more supportive. And that's what makes us, you know, very unique. Trained leaders with that expertise and the support that they understand they're sharing with participants. So because of that leadership, you'll always be including a warm-up, a cool-down. The program itself includes gradual progressions with patterns that have been well thought out, first of all by my own coach, as I mentioned, Dr. Doug Clement. And then, of course, he's pleased that it's me, his former athlete, at the helm, evolving the programs as we have for 22 years. So thousands of participants, literally. You can just imagine that kind of vision when, let's say, you decided to sign up for a clinic in your local community center, and there you are with your 30 or 40 participants together, walking, learning to run, running stronger each week. Well, just imagine that around the province there literally are thousands of people doing exactly what you're doing. Some 2,000 plus in the clinics themselves, 2,000 in remote areas around BC. I have the privilege of traveling and being part of the program in various First Nations communities and beyond, and those that are following online. The program will be in the Vancouver Sun newspaper every Monday, all the bells and whistles of support that you can imagine, and available as it has in various publications that have been, you know, made throughout the years. So thousands of people mobilized between now and April 23rd, when the Vancouver Sun Run takes place. And that can be you. So all of that background information right now, what you need to be aware of is that you need to think about your personal health, where you're at in terms of fitness. What have you been doing up until now in these last weeks and months before the program starts, January 21st? The thing is, if you've been a runner in the past, but you haven't been running in the last few months, then its impact becomes a problem. And I would advise you to be honest about what you've been doing and begin with the Learn to Run program. If you've not done a whole bunch of activity at all, then you know what? Be kind to yourself and start with the walk program. Those of you that have been avid runners and you can comfortably say that you can run 30 minutes 3 times a week, then you're ready. You can jump into the Run Stronger program, which is a Run Stronger, social, efficient program that will help you become a better runner. Perhaps a little faster, certainly a little stronger. So what happens? The Walk 10K program. Your leaders will be encouraging you to have that nice technique, and they've been taught. Have that nice strong heel-toe action, swinging those arms. The thing about walking is that the impact is something like 1 to 2 times your body weight with every single step. You got to respect that impact and know that it still has to be nice and gradual in the beginning, progressing carefully to be able to complete 10 kilometers in a way that will keep you injury-free and feeling just fantastic as your body and mind get used to covering a greater distance. So Nordic walking with appendages, I love those poles, love it. Never would I have thought I would enjoy Nordic walking in the way that I do now. If I was to head out for what I would call a fitness walk, I would be missing my poles. So many clinics do offer Nordic walking options, and your leaders are certified urban poling leaders. They've spent time, a day of their lives, following certification instruction, and then they're practiced and up to speed and are true Nordic walkers themselves. So you'll be in good hands with proper technique. So it's always about pacing. People will shoot out the door and walk too quickly, too far, run too quickly, too far, and not get very far because they realize they're huffing and puffing and it's just too darn hard to keep going. And then they don't try again. If that's you, it's probably you, it's probably happened to you, then it just means you've gone too quickly for yourself. So with your leaders, they will guide you and help you to understand that what's important is that you develop a comfortable rhythm at a nice, easy talking pace. For the most part, even as an Olympic athlete, the program that I would have had would have kept the bulk of my running at an easy, comfortable talking pace, believe it or not. Sure enough, there were, tough training days where we'd be doing intervals that you'll do in the Run Stronger program, and that would take the pace above a talking pace, but there's recoveries for that. Recoveries between intervals and recoveries between days. So it's really important to know that you've got to love what you're doing, and in order to do that, you've got to be comfortable. So even with the walk program, just to give you a quick idea, there's what session 1 would look like, and you can see 44 minutes of time that you're out there. We do incorporate some brisk walking to help you take the heart rate up just a touch higher than at a talking pace, and it creates that efficiency so that when you go back into what is a comfortable pace, it feels easier. It helps with increased fitness. So we do include some intervals there, and then you'll notice that look what happens 12 weeks later. You've gone from 44 minutes, now you're walking for 90 minutes in total, and it's taken 13 weeks to get there. We don't just go out the door and walk for that far. So it's a nice, progressive, comfortable, easy days, moderate days, and harder days where the volume increases. But it's all balanced, and your body will become fitter and stronger, and you'll hardly notice that it's happening. Oh, well now, that might be you going, I don't know if this is something I'm ready for. Well, you can believe it. This guy here, just as an example, this is a man who's been in a clinic now in his community for over 10 years. And, I was talking to him because he liked to walk with his hands in his pockets. And I said, you know what, maybe you should try swinging those arms, and it'll just get those legs moving a little quicker, and you'll feel that you're using your whole body that way. And he was funny because he said, do you realize I've been doing this for 10 years? And, it's wonderful to know how many people keep coming back year after year for the experience that they have, the support, the camaraderie, in the clinics, and he's a walker, an avid walker, loves it, and mostly just loves the fact that on a Sunday morning he's out there with his friends at his community center. So what does it look like with Learn to Run? All right, so if you've not been doing too much, you're going to register yourself in the Walk 10K program, okay, and be easy on yourself. If you've been an avid walker, you know that you're comfortable covering, 30 to 40 minutes walking, no problem, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to try Learn to Run. I want to learn how to run. And what does that mean? And that does tend to be our largest group in most clinic environments. The key to Learn to Run is that you alternate a little bit of running with a recovery walking. The technique is very different between the two. And the run is really more like a shuffle so that you develop a comfortable rhythm. A short swing of the arms, soft knee, very little knee lift. Just really more like a shuffle so that your foot lands comfortably under your hip. And once that rhythm is developed, there's room for moving quicker, but you have to start where the impact is lessened with a shorter stride, and you really are comfortable at a talking pace. Eventually, the running portion, that shuffle portion increases, the time increases. You'll progress to perhaps 10 minutes of running and 1 minute of walking, or you'll decide that you're capable of learning to run the entire way without stopping, and that's a personal choice that your leaders will help you with. The technique differences between running and walking keep you healthy. I love alternating the run with the walk because you have that little shuffle that happens, which shortens all your muscles and tendons, and then you stretch out in between in your recoveries when you walk. And by changing the way that your body makes contact with the ground and the way that you move throughout your body in walk versus run, keeps you healthy, keeps you avoiding the risk of overuse injuries. In week number 7, we have an option which prepares our participants to go only to 10 and 1s, that magical 10 and 1s, 10 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking with that contrasting 1 minute. I've had people carry on beyond 10K and run walk half marathons and marathons and do it both ways, run continuously or just stay with 10 and 1s. And sometimes they've found that they in fact move quicker overall and just feel that much better by bringing that 1 minute of walking into the entire picture always. So that becomes a personal decision as you have a little more experience. So just so you know how the progressions might work, in week number 1, session 1, you see there we are, warming up, running 1 minute, walking 2 minutes, and doing that 8 times. And then week 13 in April, seeing yourself all the way through the winter, and suddenly it's April, and in session 1, week 13, you're now moving for 50 minutes, and you're running either solidly for 40 with just a nice 1 minute walk, and then, or you are running for 10 in the run walk option there, and walking for 1, and alternating that and doing that, repeating that cycle 4 times within a similar time frame. So now you might think, well, I can go out the door right now and I can run 10 minutes, and then I'll just take a little walk break and then I'll run 10 minutes again. Folks, that is the essence of this program. You need to progress there, not do it right out the gate, because even if mentally you're strong enough to do it, your body will not be fit enough to take the impact, and it will become hard to do, and it won't be something that you'll complete. So this is tried and true. It becomes fun. Your mental fitness and your body responding together in tandem, and you hardly realize, that this component is, coming together, and it'll be week 10 or 11, and you'll think back to those early weeks, and you'll be thinking, wow, look how far I've come, and look how easy it is. So that is Learn to Run, and then we get to Run 10K Stronger, which incidentally is built on a performance program. A 10K serious athlete would do the intervals that are prescribed in this program. So although it's built on only 3 days a week, a high performance athlete would, run further and run more often. But initially, to experience gains in your fitness and in your efficiency, in your running, you really just need these 3 days. One day will be an interval day, another day will be an easier day with less volume, and another day will be a moderate day with just a little bit more volume and no intervals on those days. I do give you options for a little more time running, just depending on what your fitness level is, but it's important to remember we're preparing for 10K, not anything further. And it's important to follow the program, stick to the program, and you will learn how to run it more efficiently by sticking to what's prescribed. Okay? Recognizing, too, that not everybody cares about running any faster. In fact, folks, I can attest to that. Running more efficiently and feeling strong as you get a little bit older means you are running faster for yourself. And it's, got to accept that at some stage. So let's have a goal of running, feeling better, feeling more efficient in the comfort zone of a nice rhythm, and completing 10K with a better efficiency and a wonderful fitness level. Okay? I still stick to my 1-minute countdown on my watch to keep track of my intervals. There are so many wonderful devices out there, various watches that keep track of everything from heart rate to distance. I love it. It's awesome. But sometimes too much information can take away from just really feeling within yourself what is a comfortable rhythm. And every day is not the same as another. So sometimes, your pace might be different than it was the week before because, shoot, maybe you were up all night working on some kind of report, or maybe, the kids weren't feeling well and so you didn't get your sleep. And you're wondering why your watch is recording your pace and distance, and you're thinking, oh, I've got to pick it up, but I feel terrible. That's something to consider, and that's where when you're in a clinic with leaders, they can help you through this process, and you can, in fact, take the think out of what you're doing, follow the program, and have confidence that you will be stronger and fitter as a result of it. Intervals are important for a bunch of reasons, providing variety, providing the necessity of changing the angles at which you make contact with the ground by pushing your pace just a little bit during those intervals. That prevents injury that way. Keeps the group together because you start an interval together, then you regroup between and start again. And, of course, the fitness element. I can't tell you how many people will say to me, Lynn, I've been running for years. I've got my route. I love it. I tick around that thing. Why is it that when I enter a 10K, I can't run any faster? And I don't actually feel any better. And, that's because you haven't brought intervals into the program. You have to push the envelope. You have to push a little bit, push that pace just a bit quicker once a week in order to feel better at what is your comfortable talking pace. So here's what the program looks like for intervals in week number 1. I call them bread and butter. I love this session. Something I did as a high-performance athlete back in the day. When in doubt, go back to bread and butter, and my athletes that I coach regularly now know exactly what that means. Coach, can we do 3-2-1s again? And there it is, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute with a 2-minute recovery. If you are coming into the Run Stronger program and you find you need to walk a little bit during that 2-minute recovery, that's fine, and your leaders also will help you with that. It's meant to have a contrast in pace between what is the brisk part of the interval and then the recovery. So you do that a couple of times, and then a number of other interval sessions and the volume climbing throughout 13 weeks until we get to week number 13, session 1 of that week before the Vancouver Sun Run, and you'll repeat that bread and butter session, and you won't believe how much better you feel. You'll think back to that day 1 session and you'll say, wow, if you've been consistent, wow, you are going to feel proud of yourself and understand how far you've come, how much better you feel covering those intervals. So we've talked a bit already about the importance of change of pace or intervals. What's a brisk pace, a little above a talking pace? This is an information session, and these things become clearer as you're involved in the program and you have leadership. You can't learn it all at once, but understand that it's something that's been well thought out and well taught. Recognizing that within a group environment, you've got so many differences in ability levels, and within that group, you'll be accommodated for, not only with the programs, but within pace groups within each group. How do we do that? Oh, well, and the system that we've evolved at SportMedBC is unique in how important we make it to support the success of everyone in the group. And that means regardless of how fast you are moving, you're moving in a way that's right for you, and the leaders ensure that we loop for one another. So in other words, those that are moving a little bit quicker loop around, back behind those that are moving a little bit slower, pick them up along the way, support them with the old high five. Here we're looping in the snow in Prince George, and here we're looping out in the valley, I believe. I believe that took place out in the valley last year. As soon as you flip around, you can imagine you see each other, and it's one of those, hey, how are you doing? And ever left alone in an environment like this. And more importantly, you never feel that you need to struggle to try to keep up with what another participant is doing. So we're just about there, folks. It's just about a half an hour, and I hope you're psyched. I hope you're thinking, oh, this sounds easy. I can do this. Such a key set of words. I can do this. And this is my last story here, is that in Hope, this is in Hope, they do the best looping and supporting of participants that I truly have ever seen. And I've traveled around the province, I can tell you. And the clinics work so well, and the leaders do a fantastic job. But here in Hope, those that are in the Run Stronger program actually loop all the way back to pick up the walkers. And they love it, and they understand it. And this is what happened in their halfway 5K. This woman, she lost over 50 pounds during the course of the 13-week period. She never in a million years thought that she'd, be somebody who would be able to complete 5K, let alone 10K. And during that halfway 5K, this teenager in his technical running gear, comes back for what is his mother. And this is what happens. He loops back for her, and they share a nice word or two. And look at that camaraderie. I mean, it's amazing, honestly. And that's how it feels when somebody picks you up and you have a chat, and then you know you can do it. And then he takes off. He takes off, as a teenager does. And by the way, this is a kid who runs a sub 40-minute 10K. So he's supporting his mother, and he has said to her, Mom, you can do this. And she does. And she went on, and she's done half marathons since then in a way that's right for her. So very quickly, $144 gets you all of this. Paramount is the leadership and the resources. You'll hear from me every week as your RunWalk coach from SportMedBC. You receive a nice Atlantic lightweight t-shirt. Of course, entry into the Sun Run includes another tech shirt. Get your guides, get your online training logbook, and all the bells and whistles of support. And maybe these legs, guys. How about that? After only 13 weeks, what do you think? What do you think? Online and training option. The clinics are, not working for you. Maybe you travel remotely and you'd like to just do this, complete the program on your own. Well, you have an online option, which means I'll communicate with you directly. Costs a little bit less. I can tell you I have, oh my gosh, countless success stories, including this gal way up north in the Queen Charlottes who was incredibly successful with the program. That was a great day when I met her at the Sun Run, and she realized that goal, living way up there and losing weight and feeling confident in herself, and just feeling that incredible sense of accomplishment from week 1 to week 13. We'll have a number of webinars through the year, tons of resources for you. That's part of being part of this wonderful organization called SportMedBC. Knowing, too, that the power of positive thinking, folks. Know, too, that, when you make a change, if this is you and you've never done this before, you've got to be able to clear the slate on the day of the clinic. You have to set aside 3 days during the week where one is a clinic day and the other 2 are your homework days. You've got to be able to make the time. And, you know, it's got to work, and sometimes it takes a few times to give it a try before it actually works for you. And as leaders, we know that, and we strive to have a high success rate so that you stay motivated. It's not the program. It's not even the physical part quite often. It's all the kind of distractions and the things in your home and life in general. We're so busy. You've got to be able to make those changes in order to complete the program. So one of the last thoughts, no matter what journey you embark on in terms of exercise, you should always feel like you could do more. You're going to feel aches and pains when you load the body physically, but in general, your leader will ask you when you say, I got something in my calf, it's bothering me. You know, you've got to pay attention. That means listening to your body. And if it's climbing up above a 5 out of 10, then you'll receive some advice that suggests, you know what, maybe this impact is a bit too much for you right now. We need to remove that to keep you healthy. And that's our goal. Keep you healthy, have some fun, and just truly have an amazing experience. So choose the right program, okay? Think about where you're at. Choose the right program. Have a look on the SportMedBC website for the clinic that's nearest to you. The time is there when it starts. They're starting this weekend. You've got up to 2 weeks to join the program. If you leave it any longer than that, it's not safe to join the program because the progressions have already been made and it's, you know, too far in for you to be safe. So, you know, you've got to make a decision pretty quick here now. The weather's getting better, and if you're up north, you're used to the cold, and you've got facilities that keep you either in a gym or you're just careful outside with proper footwear. So folks, we are in this together. It's so much fun. Do I sound enthusiastic enough? I think I've gone on quickly here, and I thought, oh my gosh, you can do this. If you've joined this webinar, it means you're really excited yourself, but you're maybe timid. You're maybe thinking, I don't know if it's for me. I hope I've convinced you that it is. This is a lifestyle, and you will find that you are fit to do so many other things as a result of this program. So good luck with your decision. Know that I'm here to support you always. Here at SportMed, our team, the Vancouver Sun newspaper will have great articles for which we've contributed, and the sponsors, we're all behind this project. It's something the city is so proud of, and I do hope that you decide to join us and prepare for the event. That's what it looks like, folks. It's a scene unlike any other, and the process, the journey of getting there will be something you will not regret, and you will retain all of the information, the fitness, the health forevermore. And it's running and walking. It's something you will always return to as a result of participating in the Vancouver Sun Run and SportMedBC's InTraining program. Okay, half hour is up. Bye for now. Thanks for listening, and good luck with your decision making. Okay, bye now.